Today we're going to go to an app called Pixlr, and we're going to take our photo that we want to use for the grid, and we're going to edit it by putting a grid onto the photo. So the first thing we need to do is go to Pixlr, and that's Pixlr. You might have this app on your drive, so you can probably go over to here, search for drive, and find it. I don't, so what I'm going to do is Google it and go to Pixlr Editor. So hopefully we have our grid saved and we also have our image saved. So what I can do is I can go to Create New Image. Go ahead and title this your first initial and your last name and whatever period you are. So I'll do 2 for period 2. The width that we need this to be is going to be 1250, and the height that we're going to need it to be is 1500. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So now what I need to do is add my images in. I'm going to need 2 images in here. The first thing I'll do is find the image. So I'll go to File. I will go to Open Image because I have that image saved already. I have that saved in my grid folder. You might just have it on your desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and take that photo and open it. Now what I need to do is get this photo onto my workspace on the back. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to Edit and select all, or I could do Control A. I'll go ahead and go up here to select all. Then I'm going to go ahead and go back to Edit, and I'm going to copy, or Control C. So we can see this is highlighted. I'm on this page. What I need to do now is go to the white page here, and I'm going to go to Edit and Paste. So you can see that pasted it kind of small, so I do need to resize this. Nope, don't want to do that. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to, let me remember what I need to do here. I'm going to go to Free Transform. The only problem with this is for you guys, what you should be able to do is hold Shift and pull the corner here, and it should resize it perfectly. If you get this kind of wonky movement here, flipping around, you don't want to see that. If it does that, that means you weren't holding down Shift. For some reason, my Mac that I have to do this on is not responding to that, so I'm gonna have to kind of try and wing it here. So I need to make sure it's not warping too much. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull that down here. Okay, so I'm not sure why that's not working on my Mac, but it should work for you. You should be able to hold down Shift and pull the corner, and it should stretch it out, but stretch it out even. So once I've done that, I want to apply the changes. So I just clicked onto the page, and I'm going to go to Yes, which has now put this onto the background. So what I need to do now is to go ahead and put the grid on top. So the way that I'm going to put the grid on top is I need to open that grid. So we're going to go to Open Image again. This time I'm going to find my 8x10 grid. I go to Open, and I need to do the same steps I just did. So I need to go ahead and go to Edit, select all, so I see that border again, and Edit and Copy, or you can just click Control C if you don't want to keep going back down to the drop down. Go back to my image that now has my background and my layer, and I'm going to paste, or Control V, my grid onto the top of this. The grid might not fit exactly perfect, so just make sure that it, is covering what you want it to cover. I can go ahead and go to Edit, Free Transform. I want it to cover the whole part of the image, which is mostly the kid that we see here. So I'm going to just move this over. So I might have a little bit of space here, but I want to make sure that that grid stays the same size. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there, except now I cannot see the picture behind it. I'm just seeing this black and white grid. So I'm going to go ahead and click off here because I know that's where I want it. So yes, I want to save those changes. And now to be able to see through here, what I need to do is find this magic wand here. So it's kind of like this little wand with kind of like a red and white little design there. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to pull that into the first square, and we can see just by clicking on it, it's going to highlight it. And all I need to do now is hit the delete button or backspace button. And I'll do that to the next one. So click on it, hit delete. Click on the next one, hit delete. And I'm going to do this for every single square that we have here. And what it's going to do is it's going to pretty much open up that image behind it and give me the image that we have here. So it takes a little bit of time for this part, but for some of you, you might find that that is easier than having to take this grid, get the extra grid, draw the grid onto it. So we know how to do it manually. We can do it with our paper and just kind of transferring it over, plotting our points, and drawing the lines up and down. But if you do like using the computer, this is an easier way we have here to do this. Go ahead and finish these through here. Once I've got all of these open, you can see that I'm going to have my whole image. The only problem is that my size was a little bit off, so I do have that little extra piece off to the left side here that we can see. So that will be something I want to click on the whole thing, just on there. Okay, so like I said, this does take a little bit of time. But we're going to end up being able to see that whole image with the lines behind it, which will be helpful for when we transfer the other grid. So we will still need the grid for the back of the paper that we're going to draw on, but now we can go ahead and take this. We have our individual squares, and we can use this for our grid on the image. So we will have a copy that we use for our drawing, but this will be the one that we print in class. So you will need to save this once you have everything cleared out, and send it to me through, I'll probably have a thing up for Google Classroom. It's not up yet, but I should have that up by the time you guys see this. An assignment for you guys to drop it into. Then I can go ahead and print it for you and hand it to you. So if you have any questions, let me know, or you can, watch this video on here, rewind it, and keep checking back.